Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, October 3rd, 2025. We'll kick off the show doing baseball and I make my picks for the DS series, NFL, college football, soccer, WNBA finals, golf, NASCAR, F1, news and notes, and then best bet and Fab 5 at the end of the show. We'll begin with baseball. We had 3 game threes yesterday. Yours truly was correct only on one game. And to be honest with you, it was the game that my fandom really matters. Tigers over the Guardians 6-3 as they win the series to advance to take on the Mariners. Cubs over the Padres 3-1 as they advance to take on the Brewers. And then the Red Sox and the Yankees. Yankees come out on top 4-0 as they advance to take on their division rival, the Toronto Blue Jays. And obviously the Yankees is the one game I got right. Okay, so now I'm going to pick the series for the division series. I'm going to start in the National League. In the Central, Cubs Brewers. Okay, best player in the series. You can go in many different directions here for best guy in the series. You can make a case for Bryce Terang of the Brewers. You can make a case for Christian Yelich, Jackson Chourio of the Brewers. And you could also go on the other side and make a case for Pete Crow Armstrong of the Cubs, Dansby Swanson of the Cubs, Sia Suzuki of the Cubs, Michael Busch of the Cubs, and of course Kyle Tucker. I would say best guy in the series is Tucker, but you can make a case for any of those Brewer guys like Chourio or Terang. Best pitcher in the series. This is an interesting one to me. And I think that would be Freddie Peralta of the Brewers. Better manager, Craig Counsell or Pat Murphy? I think there's kind of a narrative going around about Counsell can't win the big game narrative. But Pat Murphy hasn't necessarily won the big game in a big series either. So, based on the track record, I have to say Craig Counsell for that reason. Storyline of the series. This is something I didn't do in the wildcard series, which I should have. The storyline of the series to me is Craig Counsell against his former team. And how the Brewer fans will react to Counsell coming in a playoff series. All right. And then the bullpen edge. This is a hard one. I think both teams have excellent bullpens. And the Brewer bullpen's really good. Abner Arube, Jared Cohen, Trevor McGill, who's their closer, Aaron Ashby. And then the Cubs have an excellent bullpen as well. With Pomeranz and Palencia and Thielbar, Brad Keller, who got the save. So for the series, this is the hardest one for me to pick on the board of all four. Although there's another one that's hard too, which I'll get to. This is really tough. I think this is going 5. I think this is a great series. I'm gonna pick the Brewers. I don't feel good about it. I think their bullpen's better. I think they're healthier. I think the loss of Cade Horton is gonna hurt the Cubs. And the Cubs are very reliant on the home run ball. So I'm gonna go Brewers in 5. And by the way, the series, they're only minus 116 favorites. The Cubs are even money. So Brewers in 5 is the favorite outcome, as well as Cubs in 4. They're both each plus. Actually, no, that's a lie. Brewers 3-1 plus 360. Brewers in 5 and Cubs in 4 is plus 390. Cubs in 5 is plus 410. That's good value. Brewers sweep is plus 370, plus 570, and the Cubs sweep is plus 710. But I am willing to lay the minus 116 with the Milwaukee Brewers. All right, Phillies Dodgers, the best series of the divisional round. Best player in the series, Shohei Ohtani. Better manager, Rob Thompson or Dave Roberts? That's a good one. Obviously the Phils made the World Series in 22. Roberts has 2 rings. So I'm going to say Dave Roberts because he has the 2 rings. And I know Thompson has a World Series on his resume, but he doesn't have like a clearer resume unlike Dave Roberts. This is like a resume pick. Best starting pitcher in the series. The answer would have been Zach Wheeler if he was healthy. But the answer is Yoshi Yamamoto of the Dodgers. Better bullpen. The Philadelphia Phillies have a significant bullpen edge over the Dodgers. Matt Strom, Tanner Banks, Jose Alvarado, so they do have a good bullpen, Philly. But it's not as good as it's been in the past. They need guys to step up. This is obviously going 5 games. The Dodgers have all the advantages, but I think the difference in this series is the home field advantage for Philadelphia, Red October, and their offense, I think, will have the better of the Dodgers in this series. I think Phillies in 5 as my pick. So we're going to have a Phillies-Brewers NLCS, and the Phillies are an underdog in the series because the Dodgers are the Dodgers. There's an underdog I like in this series. And I'm going to say Phillies in 5. That is plus 410. The favorite outcome is Dodgers in 4 plus 340. Then Dodgers in 5 at plus 370. Then Phillies in 5 plus 410. Phillies in 4 plus 420. Dodgers sweep plus 570. Phillies sweep plus 710. But yeah, this is a different animal than the Reds. The Phillies still have good starting pitching outside of Zach Wheeler. They still have Chris Sanchez. They still have Jesus Luzardo. Ranger Suarez has been excellent. It's unfortunate about Zach Wheeler. I don't know if we'll see Aaron Nola in this series. He's just been bad. Anytime on Walker is like a pickup option. But yeah, it's gonna be Luzardo, Sanchez, Suarez, and then probably Nola. and maybe, maybe Walker Buehler. And that would be a fun little revenge. Walker Buehler against the Dodgers. And the storyline of the series is obviously, can the Dodgers find a way to get outs against this Phillies offense with their bullpen being in the shape it's in. So that's the big reason why I'm taking Philadelphia in an upset, in a underdog upset per se. All right, the American League. We'll start with Detroit, Seattle. Best player in the series, Cal Raleigh. He's just been a wrecking ball this year with the long ball. Better manager, I'm going to say A.J. Hinch, because the Mariners manager doesn't have experience, Dan Wilson. And I think that Wilson's probably going to win manager of the year in the American League, and rightfully so, but he just doesn't have experience. So I have to say Hinch. And I think Hinch managed a good game 3 against the Guardians. Best pitcher in the series. The answer is Brian. Actually, no. Tariq Skubal obviously is the best pitcher in the series, but it could be Brian Wu. Uncertain for the ALDS. If he's hurt, the Mariners are in trouble. They have a fantastic pitching staff, but their best pitcher might not even be in the rotation for this series. And he's pretty much dominated. Luis Castillo's probably going to start game 1, and then Logan Gilbert, and then George Kirby. And then, hold your nose, Emerson Hancock or Bryce Miller. Bullpen. Mariners get the edge on that easily. They have a good closer in Andres Munoz. Very lights out. Spiper's really good. Gabe Spicer. They also have Edward Barrazo, who's good. Detroit has some good relievers as well. Managerial advantage we talked about already. Storyline of the series. Will Cal Raleigh carry over his regular season success into the playoffs or into the series? If he does, Seattle will win. If not, they're in trouble. I do want to... the Tigers' offense did show signs of life in that Guardians game 3, but I don't trust it. My big fear here is if I pick Seattle, Brian Wu won't be back. I think the series is going to come down to Brian Wu. If he's back, they'll win. If not, they'll lose. I think Brian Wu is that important in this series. And that, I think, is the biggest injury of this series, too. Judge obviously got hit yesterday in that Yankees game by Connolly early, but, or maybe it was one of the relievers, I don't remember. But, this is a hard call. And to me, what it comes down to is Cal Raleigh and picking the Mariners. J-Rod's been awesome too, and so has Randy Arozarena and J.P. Crawford. So I think they have a deeper lineup than Detroit. So I'm going to pick Seattle in 4. And Seattle's a big favorite. They're minus 172. That must mean they think that Wu's coming back. And Detroit's plus 146. Seattle in 4 is my pick. I don't feel great about it, though. Plus 320. That's the favorite outcome as well. Then Seattle in 5 at plus 370. Seattle sweeps plus 360. So Seattle sweeps better odds than Seattle in 5. Detroit in 5 plus 410. Detroit in 4 plus 520. Detroit sweeps plus 1120. All right, last but not least, Yankees, Blue Jays. Best player in the series is Aaron Judge. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Better manager in the series. That's a good one. John Schneider done a good job this year. I know this is his first playoffs. I have to say Aaron Boone by default because Schneider's never made the playoffs. So I have to say Aaron Boone, and he's of course managed in playoff series, and then he managed better in games 2 and 3 rather than in game 1. And I think he learned his lesson, and that's why he kept Cam Schlittler in the game last night. Best pitcher in the series is Max Fried. I mean, you can make a case for Cam Schlittler after his performance last night, but I'm gonna say it's Fried. Bullpen edge. I don't trust the Blue Jay bullpen. The Yankee bullpen I really don't trust either. So in terms of the Jays pen, a lot of their guys are ERAs are over 3. Jeff Hoffman's their closer. He hasn't been great. So I'd say the Yankee bullpen has an edge here. All right, the storyline of the series. I'm going to say Aaron Judge and his wrist and his forearm. He got hit by the pitch. Are we sure he's 100% healthy? I think that's the storyline of the series. And my pick for the series, I'm going with the Yankees in 4. And the Yankees are, minus 156. That's crazy. So they think Judge is healthy then. Toronto's plus 152. So Seattle's the biggest favorite in this round. And in the National League series, there are more toss-ups, especially Brewers-Cubs. So I'm going Yankees in 4. That is plus 290. That is the favorite outcome. And the next favorite outcome is Yankees in 5 and plus 390. Then Jays in 5 and Yankee sweep is each plus 440. Jays in 4 is plus 520. Jays sweep is plus 820. So I'm surprised that the Yankees are over minus 150. I'm surprised considering division rivals, Judge getting hit by the pitch. I'm surprised it's that high. But hey, FanDuel's trying to tell me something here. And hey, I'm happy about it. So Yankees enforce the pick. All right. And now we're going to pick the games on Saturday. So first up is Cubs Brewers on TBS. It says TBD for the Cubs starter. Freddie Peralta's going for the Brewers. If I had to guess who's going for the Cubs. So we saw Boyd in game 1, Ty on game 2. Imanaga game 3. So I don't think we'll see Boyd again until Sunday, game 2. And Cade Horton's on the injured list. It might be Colin Rea tonight for the Cubs. Brewers minus 152, Cubs plus 128, over under 7.5, over is even money, unders minus 122. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 176, Brewers minus 1.5 plus 146. I'm going with this is an interesting one. I think there's a little letdown for the Cubs and the uncertainty with pitching. I'm going to lay the Brewers on the run line, minus 1.5 at plus 146. 4 o'clock on Fox, Yankees, Jays. It's Kevin Gausman and probably Luis Heel for the Yankees. The Jays are minus 124. The Yankees are plus 106. Over under 7.5. Over is minus 120. Under is minus 102. Yanks plus 1.5 is minus 205. Jays minus 1.5 plus 168. I think this has the makings of Crowds rocking, and the Jays have their moment here. I'm going to go with an alternate over 8.5 at plus 114. All right, 6:30 Dodgers Phillies from Philadelphia on TBS. Shohei Ohtani and Chris Sanchez. Phil's minus 124. Dodgers plus 106. Over under 7.5. Over is even money. Unders minus 122. Dodgers plus 1.5 is minus 20. Phillies minus 1.5 plus 180. I'm gonna lay the run line with the Phils only because of like the letdown factor with the Dodgers. 8:30 on Fox Sports 1. Tigers Mariners. We don't know who's going on either side. If it's not Brian Wu for Seattle, it's probably going to be Luis Castillo. Tigers, we won't see Skubal till Sunday. And I don't even know who go for Detroit. And Mize went in game 2. Flaherty was game 3. It's probably going to be Tyler Holton in game 1 for Detroit. Seattle's minus 225. That's ridiculous. The Tigers are plus 188. Over under 7. Minus 110 each way. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 132. Mariners minus 1.5 plus 110. I'm going with the over. I think the Mariners are like really overvalued. My goodness. And then game 2 is only 2 of them in the American League. Fox Sports 1 on Sundays. Yankees, Jays. I'm going to say that's 1-1. Blue Jays win game 1. Yankees win game 2. And then the other series will be 1-1. Tigers win Sunday night with Skubal. Mariners win game 1. I think all the home teams are going to win game 1, by the way. That's a random prediction. All right, now we'll move on to football. I know I took way too long with the baseball, but it's baseball playoffs, obviously, so I wanted to get into it. We'll recap last night's game and then look ahead to the weekend. So the 49ers beat the Rams shorthanded 26-23 in overtime. That was a fantastic win for Kyle Shanahan and company. Nobody gave them a chance to win. People gave them a chance to cover, but they won outright. So give them all the credit in the world. A lot of people probably had them in their survivor pools. All right. Sunday, 9:30, NFL Network from London. Vikings Browns. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have the Browns installed as a half-point favorite, total 42.5. And that's because the Vikings have a ton of injuries, and it's a neutral site game. If the Browns were actually home, I would install them 3.5. And I thought about the Vikings in Survivor, but I'm like, absolutely not. The Vikings are favored by 3.5, total 35.5. I'm not picking the side. I have to go with the over. Okay. 1 o'clock on Fox. Raiders Colts. My line is Colts by 7.5, total 47 and 17/20, and it is 6.5 and 47.5. Very close, slight lean Colts, and I'm leaning towards putting them in one of my survivor pools. Next up on CBS, Giants Saints. So the crossflux, Raiders Colts should be on CBS. Giants Saints should be on Fox. Mine's pick 'em in 45 and a fifth, and it's Saints 1.5 total 41.5. I love the over. I know a lot of people like the under, but the Saint defense stinks. The Giants defense isn't much better. And I think the Giants offense showed, and the Saints offense, both, showed signs of life last week. So I like the over in this game a lot. But the line's trying to tell you something with the Saints being installed as a favorite. And this has all the makings of a giant letdown. And I hope I'm wrong. that the line is trying to tell you something. But at gunpoint, I do think they might win, but I don't feel good about it. And the reason why New Orleans is favored is because Malik Neighbors isn't playing. He's treated like he's Justin Jefferson in the betting market. All right. On Fox, Cowboys Jets. Now I understand why they did the frost flex. Because they can't have the two locals on the same channel. I have Cowboys by 1, total 57. And it is 1.5 and 47.5. That went down from 2.5. I love the over in this game. I don't know why it's not in the 50s. Next up, should be on CBS. Yes, it is. Broncos Eagles. This is probably the Nance and Romo game. I have Eagles by a whopping 9.5, total 44 and 9/10, and it is 4.5 and 43.5. Everyone and their mother loves Denver. I like the Eagles. I'm gonna lay the points. I don't know if I trust Bo Nix on the road, and they're going up against a much better offense than Jake Browning and the Bengals. Next up on Fox, Dolphins Panthers. My line is the Panthers. Yes, the Panthers by 5, total 46 and 9/20. That's because the Dolphins have a ton of injuries. Dolphins are favored 1.5, totals 44.5. I like Carolina plus the 1.5 and even money to win. On CBS, Texans Ravens. All right, I have Texans 2.5 without Lamar Jackson, total 47 and 9/20. But if Humphrey and Roquan Smith play, that goes to Texans by 4. But say if Lamar plays, I have Ravens 4.5, but without those two defensive guys, it's Ravens by 3. So the line is Texans 1.5, total 4.5. So this game is kind of banned from Fab 5. But anyway, I'm giving out the over. Because I think Cooper Rush can sling it. Titans Cardinals, now we're in the 4 o'clock window. That game is on CBS. My line's Cardinals by 7, total 49 tenths, and it is Cardinals 8.5, total 41.5. Slight lean towards the Titans, and this might be my money survivor pool pick in the big one. Also on CBS, Bucks Seahawks. That's a fantastic game. That should be arguably the Nance and Romo game, but that's probably going to be the Iron Eagle game. Iron Eagle's rarely out on the West Coast. I have Seahawks 4.5, total 46 and 3/5. That's with all the injuries on the Bucks, and the Seahawks are giving 3.5, totals 44.5. I like the over, in spite of the injuries on Tampa. All right, 4:25 on Fox, Lions Bengals. This was probably the Burkhardt Brady game, but it probably isn't anymore because of no Joe Burrow. And the emergence of the next game. My line is Lions 6.5, total 50 and 7/10. And it's 10.5 and 48.5. I love the Bengals getting the points. I might have to hold my nose and pick it in Fab 5. I hope I don't, but that's just too many points at home against a Detroit team and a defense that has injured players. And then this is going to be the Burkhardt Brady game. Commanders Chargers, the emergence of Justin Herbert and the Chargers this year. My Chargers 4.5, total 44 and 7/10, and it is 2.5 and 47.5. I like the under. Went down from 48.5. I still like it. That's very high. And last but not least, Sunday Night Football. 8:20 on NBC. Patriots Bills. My line's Bills by 11, total 50 and 4/5, and it's 8.5 and 49.5. I like the Bills minus the points. I think this is a statement game for Buffalo. New England's not ready for prime time yet, so I'm gonna lay 8.5 with Buffalo, and that's another candidate for the other survivor pool. Okay, now move on to college football. We will go over last night's game and make the picks for this weekend. So it was a Conference USA game last night as New Mexico State beat Sam Houston 37-10. Wow, that was a blowout, and I gave out New Mexico State on the podcast. All right, tonight we have 5 games. That's a lot for college football on a Friday. And none of them are going to be in Fab 5 because Fab 5 is only for Saturdays. So tonight, 7 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, Western Kentucky, and the UDEL. My line for this is Pick'em in 57 9/10, and it is 2.5 and 61.5. Under. ESPN2, Charlotte, South Florida. My line is South Florida by 14, total 50 and 9/10 or 9/20. And it's South Florida by a whopping 27.5, total 55.5. I'm going to take Charlotte getting the points. 10 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, New Mexico, San Jose State. My line San Jose State by 10, total 50 and 3/20. That's 2.5 and 58.5. Two big edges. Under. And then 10:30 ESPN, West Virginia at number 23 BYU. If BYU 14, total 48 in the fifth. And it's 20.5, 46.5. I gotta take the points. And last but not least, Colorado State, San Diego State on CBS Sports Network. I've Pick'em and 39 or 35 and 19/20. And it's 6.5 and 41.5. I'm taking I'm gonna go. I have to take Colorado State in the points. All right, on to Saturday, 12 o'clock, ABC, Kentucky at number 12, Georgia. My line is Georgia 23.5, total 53.5, and it is 20.5 and 48.5. Over. Number 14, Iowa against Cincinnati on ESPN2. My line is Iowa State by 6, total 51 and 9/10, and Cincinnati 1.5, total 55.5. I'm going to take Iowa State in the 1.5 and even money to win. On Fox, Wisconsin, number 20, Michigan. That's where big noon kickoff, I think, is. Mine's Michigan 10.5, total 46 and a 10th. Or in a 5th. Oh, no, a 10th. And it's Michigan 17.5, total 43.5. I'm going to take the points. Number 22, Illinois against Purdue. My line is Illinois 16, total 56 and 17/20, and it is 8.5 and 54.5. I can't believe how low that is. I'm laying it with Illinois. All right, ACC Network, BC Pitt. My line's Pitt 9.5, total 63 and 11/20, and it is 6.5 and 56.5. Over. ESPN Clemson UNC. This is the loser gets mocked game. My line's Clemson 12.5, total 42 and 4/5. And it's 14.5 and 46.5. Under. Kansas State Baylor. My line's Baylor by 3, total 58 and 2/5, and it's 5.5, 60.5. Kansas State in the points. On CBS, Air Force Navy. My line is. Was that a neutral game? No, it's at Navy. Okay. Navy 11, total 66 and a 10th. And it's 13.5 and 51.5. Over. ESPNU Army UAB. My line is Army by a half, total 64 and 3/10. And it's 6.5 and 57.5. Over. I don't feel good about it though. Ohio Ball State. CBS Sports Network. My line's Ohio 14, total 54 and 2/5. And it's 14.5 and 51.5. Slide over. Wake Vatek at 1 o'clock on the C-Dub. My line's Vatek by 2, total 49 and 7/20, and it is 5.5 and 51.5. I'm taking Wake in the points. UTSA Temple, mine's UTSA 13, total 59 3/10, and it's 6.5, 58.5. I'm going to lay the points. Campbell, NC State at 2 o'clock. My line's NC State 23, total 62 and 4/5. Or, I'm sorry, 2/5, and it's 42.5 and 61.5. I'm going to take Campbell in the points. Western Michigan, UMass. Mine's Western by 8, total 47 and 7/10. And it's 13.5 and 46.5. I'm going to take UMass in the points. 3 o'clock TNT, Oklahoma State, Arizona. My line's by 12, total 49 and 19/20, and it's 20.5, 55.5. The points, Oklahoma State in the points. Number 7, Penn State at UCLA, CBS. My line's Penn State 20.5, total 48 and 1/5. And it is 24.5 and 48.5. I'm going to take UCLA to cover. There's like a letdown factor after that loss on Saturday. East going west. But James Franklin always covers these spreads against lesser opponents. ESPN Texas at number 9 Texas at Florida. My line's Texas by 8, total 38 and 4/5, and it is how come I can't find this game? Florida, Texas. Where is it? There it is. 5.5, 42.5. Under. All right, on ABC, 3:30. Number 16, Vandy, at number 10, Alabama. I have Bama by 8, total 16, 7/20, and it is 12.5, 55.5. Over. NBC, Boise, at number 21, Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame by 2.5, total 67 and 11/20, and it is Notre Dame 20.5, total 62.5. That's way too high. Give me Boise in the points. ESPN 2, number 24, Virginia at Louisville. My line's Louisville by 2, total 62 and 19/20, and it is 6.5 and 60.5. I'm going to take Virginia in the points. Big Ten Network, Washington, Maryland. I have Maryland 1.5, total 53 and 1/5. And it's 5.5 and 53.5. I'm taking Maryland plus the 5.5 and plus 188 to win outright. Big Ten Network, Yale, Monroe, Northwestern. My line's Northwestern 10.5, total 44.5, and it is 11.5, 42.5. Over. Oregon State, App State. I have Oregon State by 8, total 51 and 9/10. I promise you this will not be in Fab 5. App State's 1.5 point favorite, total is 53.5. My numbers take to say Oregon State. I know they suck. ACC Network, SMU hosting Syracuse. My line's SMU 18, total 61 and 1/20. And it's 17.5 and 57.5. Over. FIU, UConn, CBS Sports Network. My line's FIU by 6, total 55 and 7/20. And it's UConn 6.5, total 52.5. UConn is always overrated in the betting market. I'm taking FIU plus a 6.5 and plus 205 to win outright. James Madison, Georgia State. My line's James Madison by 8, total 57 and 9/20, and it is 20.5 and 53.5. I'm taking Georgia State to cover. Central Michigan, Akron. My line is Akron by 5, total 49 and 7/10, and it is Central Michigan by 7.5, total 46.5. I'm taking Akron, getting the 7.5 and plus 225 to win outright. Eastern Michigan, Buffalo. Mine is Buffalo 15, total 52 and 1/10, and it is 10.5 and 53.5. I'm going to lay the 10.5 at Buffalo. Miami of Ohio, Northern Illinois. Mine's Miami of Ohio by 11, total 39 and 17/20. And it's 4.5 and 38.5. I'm going to lay the 4.5 with Miami of Ohio. 4 o'clock on SEC Network, Kent State number 5, Oklahoma. Men's Oklahoma 22.5, total 51 3/10. And it's 45.5 and 52.5. Kent State in the points. Fox Sports 1, Michigan State, Nebraska. My line's Nebraska 5, total 60 and the 20th. And it's 12.5 and 49.5. Ooh. I like the over. That's really low. Texas State, Arkansas State, ESPNU. My line's Arkansas State by 4, total 57 and 11/20. And it's Texas State by 13.5, total 64.5. Wrong team's favorite. Give me Arkansas State getting the points. Plus 385 on the money line. Whoo, that's juicy. Coastal Carolina, Old Dominion at 6. My line's Old Dominion 7.5, total 45.5. And it is 19.5 and 54.5. I'm taking Coastal in the big number. 7 o'clock ESPN, number 11, Texas Tech, Houston. That's a huge game. Mine's Texas Tech 1, total 53 and 19/20. And it's 11.5, 51.5. I'm taking Houston getting the points. That is a lot of points. CBS Sports Network, UNLV, Wyoming. My line's UNLV 16, total 50 and 7/20. And it's 3.5 and 49.5. I'm going to lay the points with UNLV. South Alabama, Troy. My line's Troy by 20, total 50.25. And it's South Alabama 1.5, total 46.5. That's crazy. Why is that? Give me Troy plus the 1.5 and minus 108 to win. FAU Rice. My line is Rice by 4, total 53 and 3/10, and it's 4.5, 53.5. That's very close. Slightly in FAU. That's not going to be in Fab 5. 7:30 NBC Minnesota number 1 Ohio State. Huge game. Mine's Ohio State 11.5, total 45 and 4/5, and it is 23.5 and 42.5. I'm going to take Minnesota getting the points. I think that's a lot of points. I like this Minnesota team. All right, the big one. 7:30 ABC. Number 3 Miami. Number 18 Florida State. Game day is probably there. Although I think there's a possibility they're in Tuscaloosa too. It's either they're in Tuscaloosa. It's probably this game because of Miami being number 3. Then everyone will be like, Bama favoritism. Well, Florida State favoritism too. My line's Miami 9.5, total 16 3/20, and it is 4.5 and 53.5. I have to go with the over. I want to lay it with Miami, but I have to take the over. Mississippi State, number 6, Texas A&M on the SEC Network. My line's A&M 14, total 58. It's 15.5 and 56.5. All right, same edge on both. Slight over. Just going to go with my gut on that one. On Fox, Colorado, TCU. My line's TCU by 6, total 53 and 7/10. It's 13.5 and 57.5. I actually think Colorado is going to cover here. That's a big number. I'm going to take them plus the points. And last time Colorado was there, we all know what happened. That was the big comeback. Shader Sanders' breakout game. ESPN 2, Kansas, UCF. My line's Kansas by 2, total 53.5. And it's 4.5 and 54.5. I'm going to take UCF in the points. Maybe they went outright. Who knows? ESPN 8 o'clock, Tulsa, Memphis. My line's Memphis by 9, total 50 and 3/5. And it's 20.5 and 54.5. I'm going to take Tulsa and the points. 10:30 ESPN Duke Cal. My line's Duke by 7, total 52, and it's 2.5 and 55.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5 with Duke, but I don't feel good about it. And on CBS Sports Network, Nevada, Fresno. My line's Fresno 14, total 47 and 2/5. And it's 13.5 and 45.5. I'm going to go with a slight over. Whew, so there you have it for the college picks. Now I'm going to do notable soccer. I'm not going to give out picks for soccer. And I really don't have time for results. I'm just going to do it all on Monday. So going on right now, Premier League, Bournemouth, Fulham. La Liga going on right now, Osasuna, Getafe. Bundesliga going on now, Hoffenheim, Cologne. The Women's League at 8 o'clock is Houston, Orlando. Liga MX tonight, 9 o'clock, Necaxa, Pachuca. 11 o'clock, Mazatlan, Atletico, San Luis. and not Los Juarez. Going on now is Verona Sassuolo. League One going on now. Lorient Paris FC. ELC Wrexham Birmingham going on now. Dutch Eredivisie going on now. Breda and Groningen. Women's Super League going on now. Man United, Chelsea. League One tonight, 7 o'clock. Spokane, Charlotte, and South Georgia, and Westchester. All right, and then tomorrow, Premier League, 7:30. Leeds United, Tottenham, 10 o'clock. Arsenal, West Ham, Man United, Sunderland, 12:30. On NBC, Chelsea and Liverpool. La Liga, 8 o'clock. Real Oviedo, Levante, Girona, Valencia, 10:15, 10:30 or 12:30. Athletic and Mallorca, 3 o'clock. And Villarreal. German Bundesliga, 9:30. Leverkusen, Union Berlin, Dortmund, RB Leipzig, Augsburg, Wolfsburg, Bremen, St. Pauli, and 12:30. Frankfurt and Bayern Munich. MLS on Saturday, 2:30. Montreal, Nashville, DC, Charlotte, 4:30. Dallas Galaxy, 7:30. Miami, New England, Red Bull, Cincy, Orlando, Columbus, Philly, NYCFC, Austin, St. Louis, Chicago, Toronto at 8:30. Those last two are at 8:30. Houston, San Diego, Minnesota, KC, 9:30. Real Salt Lake, Colorado, and 10:30. Seattle, Portland. Women's League, 7:30 on Iron, North Carolina and Louisville, and then 10 o'clock on Iron, Portland, Bay FC. Liga MX, 7 o'clock, Querétaro, Puebla, Leon, Toluca at 9. Tigres, Cruz Azul, and at 11 o'clock, America and Santos. Serie A, 9 o'clock, Lazio, Torino, Parma, Lecce, 12 o'clock, Inter, and Cremonese, and 2:45, Atalanta, Como. League One, 11 o'clock, Metz, Marseille, 1 o'clock, Brest, Nantes, and 3 o'clock, Ajax, Lens. Dutch Eredivisie, 10:30, Sparta, Ajax, 12:45, Fortuna, FC Volendam, 2 o'clock, Zwolle, Eindhoven, 3 o'clock, Heerenveen, Excelsior. Premiership, 10 o'clock, Dundee, Livingston, Kilmarnock, St. Mirren, 12:45, Hearts, Hibernian. And then Sunday, Premier League, 9 o'clock, Aston Villa, Burnley, Everton, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Nottingham, Wolverhampton, Brighton, and 11:30 on USA, Brentford, Man City. La Liga, 8 o'clock, Alaves, Elche, 10:15. Sevilla, Barcelona, 12:30. Espanyol, Real Betis, Real Sociedad, Real Vallecano. 3 o'clock, Celta Vigo, Atletico Madrid. Bundesliga, 9:30. Stuttgart, Heidenheim, 11:30. Hamburg, Mainz, 1:30. Mönchengladbach and St. Freiburg, SC Freiburg. MLS, 6 o'clock, Vancouver, San Jose, and 9 o'clock, LAFC, Atlanta. Women's League, 1 o'clock, ESPN, Washington, San Diego, Chicago, Utah, 4, Gotham, Seattle. Liga MX, 9 o'clock, Unam, Guadalajara, 11 o'clock, Tijuana, Monterrey. Serie A, Udinese, Cagliari at 6:30, 9 o'clock, Bologna, Pisa, Fiorentina, AS Roma, 12 o'clock, Napoli, Genoa, and 2:45, Juventus, AC Milan. French League 1, 9 o'clock, Lyon, Toulouse, 11:15, AS Monaco, Nice, Le Havre, Stade Rennes, Strasbourg, Angers, and 2:45, Lille, PSG. Dutch Eredivisie, 6:15, FC 20, Heracles, 8:30, Feyenoord and Utrecht, 10:45, AS Alkmaar, Telstar, and 2 o'clock, Go Ahead Eagles and the NEC. Premiership, 10 o'clock, Aberdeen, Dundee, Celtic, Motherwell, and Falkirk Rangers. All right, so there you have it for soccer. Now move on to the WNBA finals. Game 1, I gave out my series pick yesterday. 8 o'clock, ESPN, Mercury, Aces. The Aces are giving 3.5. Total is 161.5. I like the Aces to win and cover in this game, so I'm going to lay the points. And then Sunday is game 2, 3 o'clock on ABC. I think the Aces are going to go up 2-0 in this best of 7. Okay, now we'll move on to golf. I'm going to try to be really, really quick with golf. Um, just going to look at um, the leaderboard right now. I'm just going to do really top 11, and I'm going to not do NASCAR or Formula One because I don't have time. First, Grayson Higo, 13 under. Second, with 11 under, Danny Walker. Third, 10 under, Vincent Whaley. Tie for fourth, 9 under, Eric Cole, Stuart Fisk, and David Ford. Tie for seventh with 8 under, Luke Liz, Kevin Yu, Christian Ziedenhout, and Matthias Schmid. Tied for 11th, 7 under is a big group. Mac Meisner, Grace Sieg, Luke Liz, Bryce Garnett, Doug Gim, Tom Kim, Carson Young, Tim Whiting, Matt Kuchar, Jesper Svensson, Ryo Hisatune, Takumi Kanaya, and Noah Goodwin. Yeah, so we'll know who the winner is come the Monday podcast. Okay, I'm gonna rapid fire the news and notes. I just want to get to best bet and Fab Five. So George Kittle likely to be back by week 7, so that's good news for the Niners. Bucky Irving is out for the Seahawks game with a foot injury. Aaron Glenn says that Braylon Allen's out 8 to 12 weeks. That's brutal. J.J. McCarthy's out for the Vikings, as we knew, so it's Carson Wentz. Chuba Hubbard's out against the Dolphins. Kyla Davis didn't come back in the game against the Rams last night. Brock Bowers missed practice. A group of 5 coach rips Bill Belichick's recruiting. He says he knew what UNC would probably struggle based on their transfer portal activity. Cole Stafford loses college football bet as DeForest Buckner makes Indy Communications exec just as an Oregon Duck. So Judge was hit by pitch. We talked about that already. The Padres lost on a blown call. It was a controversial 9th inning strikeout. Talking about debate. The Texas Rangers are focused on Skip Shoemakers. They're not currently looking at external candidates. The Mets are cleaning house a little bit. They fired their pitching coach and hitting coaches and the bench coach. Mac Jones, despite a good game last night, said that Brock's number 1. Derek Jeter pays tribute to a scout, Dick Groch, who passed away. Fever Aces average over $1.5 million or viewers. Semifinal series was most watched WNBA history, up 83% from previous year. That's crazy. Angel Race is making money off of merchandise as she talks about MeBounce products have been bringing in 6-figure plus in revenue. All right, so there you have it for the news and notes. Best bets up next, brought to you by FanDuel. So there's a lot of directions where I can go here. And I am going to go with the college football game because that's really the only thing on the board tonight because we don't have any baseball playoffs. So it's kind of a bonus Fab 5 bet. I'm going to take the under 58.5 in New Mexico, San Jose State. Do I feel great about this? No. That's where I'm rolling for best bet. And the Fab Five, I'm going to start in college. I like a lot this week. Pick number 1. I am going to take the Terrapins of Maryland plus 5.5 at home against the Washington Huskies. Pick number 2. I am going to take the Florida International Panthers plus the 6.5 against UConn. Pick number 3. I'm going to go over 49.5 in Michigan State and Nebraska. I just think that's too low. Pick number 4, I'm taking Houston getting the 11.5 at home against Texas Tech. And pick number 5, I'm taking Arkansas State plus 13.5 against Texas State. My underdog outright pick of the show. There's a lot of directions I can go here for the underdog. And the one I'm going to go with is going to be, I'm going to go against UConn again. I'm going to take Florida International plus 205. I'm going to double down on that one. And you know I don't like doubling down on the underdog of the week in the Fab 5. All right, now the NFL Fab 5. I'm staying away from Texans-Ravens because of the injuries. I absolutely despise this pick, but pick number 1, I'd have to take the Panthers getting the 5.5. I think the Dolphins are going to have a letdown after what happened with Tyreek Hill. And everybody is kind of jumping on board with them. Pick number 2, I'm going to double down on the over between the Cowboys and the Jets, because I gave that out earlier in the week. Pick number 3, I'm going to take the under 47.5 in the Chargers-Seahawks game. And I'm going to do it. Pick number 4, I'm going to take the Bengals getting 10.5 at home against the Lions. I can't stand the pick, but sometimes you got to make the pick if you have to. And pick number 5, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is going to be saved for Monday night. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to bet it now because where I'm leaning, the line might move. So I'm waiting. I'm going to wait for it to move. So pick number 5 with a Fab 5, you're going to have to wait until Monday night to get it. And my outright underdog I can't believe I'm going to do it. I have to do it because I just have to. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns plus 158 to upset the Vikings. I hate it. I hate my picks this week, but I gotta do it. Sometimes you just gotta do it because it qualifies. The team is over a 3-point favorite and the underdog is over plus 120. So there you have it for the Fab 5 and the show, and I'll be back on Monday, recapping everything, looking ahead to everything come Monday, and I still have to do the postmortems for the eliminated teams. Have a good weekend, everyone.